Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back from my existing subscribers. Today I wanted to take a little bit and talk about the recent ban hammer that has come down on everybody that has been exploiting the PC game chat. Also want to talk a little bit about the console space and my experience back in the day when I was still playing console. I say back in the day, it was really like a couple months ago. So let's start with the PC ban. I think it's pretty much justified because if you're crashing servers because you're about to lose, this actually happened to us and we thought we got DDoSed. But we were up 4-3 and it was a 3v1. Dude, I guess they crashed the servers, and everybody ended up getting kicked back up to the main screen. What it looked like was pretty much our games all froze. So I had a video of that. Figured out later on, a couple weeks later, that this is a glitch that people have been doing with the game chat. I haven't seen a ban wave this intense since the last time when they implemented the chat filter, when people were getting baited into all kinds of just insta kicks, just insta bans. So this isn't as critical as that, but for the people that are getting banned, I mean, it is something that I feel like it sucks that you can't play the game, but I mean, you know what you were doing, and at the end of the day, it's just a consequence. And for those that do things like that, like they see somebody else do it and there's no consequence for that person, so they just go ahead and piggyback along with it. You're just as guilty as the other people. So in this aspect, I really don't mind it. I think it's kind of well deserved. Now let's talk about my console experience. The similar thing needs to be addressed as far as on Xbox when people join your party and then they get your IP address and boot you offline. So I think they call them booters. So if they can get the booters next, maybe like if they do investigations where 3 or 4 people are starting to get kicked from a game, or implement a feature where you can report somebody after you get back online, because we all know that you can only report them to Xbox if you have their game tag from your recently played list. But other than that, you really can't, if you get kicked out the lobby, unless you can join right back in, which a lot of the times you can't really report that player. So in lobbies where multiple reports are going around where somebody's been getting kicked, or like a post-game report where it says, hey, you left this last game, whatever, would you like to report, or was it on, just something like that, something along those lines, where there's a feature in place where you can report after you've been booted offline by somebody joining your party specifically. That way they can investigate the specific player, and then let's say, for instance, Joe Schmo 123 has done it like 6 or 7 times in different games. Then that person ends up getting a ban on console. Console bans are a little bit harder. Another thing that makes it a little bit trickier is when people do this exploit with it's not really an exploit, but using the Zim Apex mouse and keyboard on Xbox. It's an adapter that people use. I feel like those people, instead of spending like $250, you could just pretty much start building a PC for what some of this stuff costs. By the time you factor the cost of an Xbox, even if you get an Xbox One S, you get that, you get the game. It's what, $450, $510. I mean, you're well on your way to getting a PC that can run Siege very well. So you might as well just switch over. Now, I think a lot of people don't do it because they want to play PC so bad, but they just can't afford it. I think the thing is that people just want the advantage, and they want to get to high plat, or they want to get to diamond at other people's expenses, and that's not really fair, right? It's kind of like any other situation or in a real life sport where you're doing everything correctly and somebody's taking like performance enhancing drugs and they end up beating you, or any type of situation like that. The last piece is like the PS4, and then to tie it together, I would say people using mouse and keyboard on PS4 is another problem, because I remember when I was still playing PS4, we were I think it was a Plat 1, Plat 2, and another Plat 2. We got just insta-wrecked. This dude, it was a nice 3K, but he was definitely using mouse and keyboard. He had dropped down, shot me, flipped around, did a 180, headshot somebody else, flipped around and headshot somebody else, and then like at that point it's just something that we just knew, the way his mouse was all jittery and the way his aim was all jittery, that it couldn't have just been a natural smooth controller motion. But I digress. I think if they had some kind of sensor on the game side that kind of told you what input was being placed into the console, that might help out, but I don't think that solves the issue, because a lot of those things, I remember there was because I actually used to use one of those adapters, Chronos Max. It's like $60. You could input any controller you wanted, and the reason I got that adapter was because I wanted to use my Elite controller on PS4, and it worked. But the downside is that it's an Xbox controller, so it didn't have a touchpad. And when it came down to hitting the share button to save clips, because as you guys know, I use all onboard DVR. On PC, I record from the PC itself. On Xbox and PS4, I record from the consoles themselves. So I couldn't map an easy way to do the share button and then square. Pretty much everything else, like shoot, jump, actual gameplay wise, was spot on. I used to have to hold, I think it was the start button. It was the start button, the menu button, and Y, and then rotate my right joystick, and that was the workaround through the Chronos Max to simulate the touchpad. So after like 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out. It was too much work. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below versus about what people are pretty much getting kicked for on PC, which is spamming chat, and whether you think Ubisoft is doing the right thing as far as banning these people, because I do. I feel like it'll make the game environment a lot more stable in the long term, and in the short term it's going to piss off a lot of people that won't be able to play the game. But when they do come back, because Rainbow Six is like one of the, I know people that got banned for getting boosted a couple seasons ago when that ban wave came into play and the whole business behind people getting boosted for money was around. But I know people that they're already back playing this game, so I don't think that these people that are getting banned now are gonna be deterred from playing the game. It's just they'll think twice next time before, on their main account at least, spamming the chat or doing some kind of exploit like going invisible with IQ. Those types of things are gonna be harder to track. But I think in the end, if they had some kind of filter, just like they had a filter for what is it, for the chat, if they had a filter that will count, maybe let's say it silently counts 3 times that you go invisible or that you crash the game with Castle or something like that, and then all of a sudden you get banned because it's been manually counting you all this time. I think that would be pretty cool, because a lot of these things are just a sequence of actions. So if it could capture that sequence and then maybe trigger a manual review so they're not accidentally canceling people that just like mash buttons really quickly, because there's some people that do that too. Like I have a buddy, every time he gets a kill cam, he just does like he just spins like crazy. But yeah, man, I'm gonna cut the video out from here. You guys be easy and let me know your thoughts about the mouse and keyboard on consoles as well as these current bans. I'll catch you in the next video. Yeah, that's kind of how it is though. Oh, look at all these people. Oh man, here we go. The ban hammer. It must be that ban they've been talking about for people spamming the chat.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna send you this video.
Still going. That's like 16 people.
Just watch like the first 3 minutes, and you'll understand. My English is too bad.
Yeah. No, you're saying it just